Going to take a couple seconds. Welcome back. It's been a month since I said we'd do this, and we're doing it again. I was expecting it to do this a little sooner, but thanks for coming back and joining me. And we can give this another shot. So I'm trying to bring up the chat at the same time, and I'm still a novice at this, so that hasn't changed. But hopefully you can actually hear me now, and let's also hope that the sound doesn't keep interrupting. You might also notice that the video is in HD. I cannot take credit for that. I actually got a HD webcam from one of you, from Andrew Latham. He just graciously decided to send one out to me after the last one. So thank you very much, Andrew. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully everyone else does too, because I think it looks pretty good. It's a little wider than I'm used to. So there's some bits that are in the frame that you haven't seen before. Like, oh, this is interesting. So that's the inside of my house. But over here, add to the unusual garage. You already know that I have a refrigerator in my garage. A refrigerator in my garage. I have a shop oven in the garage, but this used to be a dark room, and this light up here was to indicate whether or not someone was processing photos. The person that built this house had some very unusual ideas about what was and wasn't a good idea. So the chat is not coming up. So let me figure out why that is. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to try to multitask here. Talk about a little about what's happened since our last chat. First off was Maker Faire. So I went to Maker Faire, I guess it was it just last weekend? No, it was the weekend before last. So it was 2 weekends ago I went to Maker Faire, and it was really cool. It was my second time out at Maker Faire down in San Mateo, and I met a lot of folks that I had met before, and I also met a lot of new people. So the first time I went out to Maker Faire, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I felt like it was all 3D prints and it was all, CNCs and electronics, and I didn't feel like there was anything really being made there, and it actually kind of got me down. But this year, knowing what it was and knowing what I was in for, I decided not to let the grumpy old man come out, and I just enjoyed myself, and it was really cool. There's lots of really cool stuff there, and it's not about how you're making something. It's about the ideas that you have. And so it doesn't matter if somebody wants to make it on a 3D printer or somebody wants to make it on a CNC machine. I don't know, I guess I just let myself get all kind of down about it last year. So I had a really good time this year, and I will definitely be going back again. It was really cool. I like the drone battles, and I like just meeting people and talking with people. I got to meet, Jimmy DeResta again, and David Picciuto, and Bob Claggett, and a ton of other guys. Anthony, and he's actually got a new channel called Machine Right. I just so many people. I'm totally going to forget all your names because I'm not good like that. Oh, and Zach Higgins from NV Woodworks. So yeah. Anyway, oh, there it is. I see the chat finally came up. A little laggy here, but we're doing it. We got 16 viewers. Okay. And what else? What else? Oh, the salt lamp. I did the salt lamp a couple weeks back. The cord is still plugged in by my bedside. I turn this on every night. I really like the look of it. And this is the lamp. It's been in use for almost a month now, I think. I had to make that video early because I had to get approval from Audible before releasing it. So kind of unusual for me not to be under the gun for a video. And then the pepper mill, which just was up. Was it yesterday? Just went up yesterday. It just reeks of interest, and I don't know. There's just something about it that I just don't like the look of it. I don't know if it's just too 70s. It reminds me of my childhood. I was born in '77, and this looks like every T-shirt my mother put me in when I was a kid. But I did end up sealing it in lacquer. I sprayed 5 coats of lacquer on the outside, so the peppercorns, you can't feel them anymore, and they won't break down. Okay, here we go. Some comments. I do win the Weird House competition. Hey, Art. Good to see you again. How was... Hi. How was recovering from the self-peppering mace? That was horrible. Okay, I had no idea. When I made that blank, I thought, you know what I thought was going to be? Nothing. I didn't think there was going to be anything to it. I was just going to turn it. And then on Instagram, someone said, you're going to sneeze a lot. I was like, oh yeah, it's pepper. I am going to sneeze a lot. And so I was bracing myself for this sneeze fest. And when, after rubbing my forehead on my shoulder and realizing that my forehead was on fire and my whole face was on fire, I was like, what have I done? What have I got myself into? And then it was just a cloud of it. And I had to cut out probably 20 minutes of me just hacking and coughing and walking away from the lathe and walking back to the lathe. And at one point, I couldn't even talk because tears were just streaming out of my face. So yeah, it was pretty awful. When I'm done with a salt project like this, I look at it and I think, that is so pretty. I love the way the salt looks. I love the cracks, you know, and yeah, there's a ton of stuff in the shop that's all rusty, but I would do it again for this. And then I look at this and I'm like, I hate the way this looks. You know, I don't hate it. I shouldn't say that. I am not particularly fond of this. I wouldn't buy this in the store. And then, you know, to go through all that pain for something that I didn't even like that much, no, I will never do another pepper project. And then I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that'll never happen. There's no desire for it. Bonus footage. Yeah, 3Me 2189 says bonus footage. Yeah, it would just be, if you just want to hear a man sobbing violently in the corner, saying things like, oh my eyes, then yeah, we could do that. So I do appreciate you all liking that video because, yeah, for my pain, I appreciate that. So the video is actually doing pretty well. I don't know if that's just because people are sick inside or because it's just been so long since I made a video. So when I came back from Maker Faire, I had this great idea. I was like, I have a great idea for a project. It's going to be so easy, which is always the worst thing to say. It's going to be so easy. And started out on Friday morning, and on Sunday night at 6 o'clock, my wife said, just stop. Just stop. You're making everybody crazy. And so that's when the pepper project was born, because I was like, I don't have anything else. And so I went to the comments and I read a bunch of the comments and they said, you should dip pepper. I'm like, I'm going to dip pepper because my idea sucks. So that's the reason that that happened. Was my wife killing herself laughing? No, she did not. She did not know what was happening. I came in afterwards and I looked like I just lost a fight to, I don't know, somebody. Somebody beat me up, and she's just like, "What happened?" I turned pepper on the lathe. What? What? You look like you've had a sunburn. So yeah, I would totally. Oh. Fearing that the blank wouldn't work, I made two. So if anybody wants to turn some peppercorn, and I would recommend never doing this, but if we could goad some, you know, other big YouTuber into actually turning this and showing a video of it, I would happily send it to them. But yeah, it's not any fun. But it would make a very nice pen, don't you think? Mail that to Jay Bates. No, I like Jay Bates. He doesn't deserve that. Jay doesn't deserve that. Let's see. I tread carefully here. Who does deserve it, right, Peter? No, I'm not going to go. Now, Steve's too close. I wouldn't want to piss off somebody that close. Now, the backyard scientist. That's not a bad idea. He's crazy. I like him. He does some crazy stuff. Maybe I should send him the pepper blank. I wonder what he'd do with it. He'd shoot it. Get him shoot it with his rifle. I have a hazmat mask. Does it work? You mean like a respirator? Because I have a respirator, and it doesn't matter. It wasn't in my throat. It was like on my face. So unless you're like completely skin tight, that's the problem. Is you know, I had the face shield on, I had the mask on, and my face felt fine. It was all this area here that was like out in the open. So I don't know. I don't know how to stop that from happening. I guess I could have actually used like, you know, my vacuum to suck things up at the lathe. But that's a personal choice, because I think that all that streaming stuff makes for a good video. So I have a dust collector now, and I have a shop vac, and I can totally collect dust at the lathe, but it kind of makes for boring video because it's not all like flying all over the place. So I kind of do that for fun. So that would be one of the requirements, is that they wouldn't be able to cheat their way out and just suck it all up at the lathe. We'd have to actually see it, you know, vaporizing. We got to weaponize the pepper, because I want them to suffer as much as I did. That's the joy of this. That's the reason why you eat something hot and then you look at your friend and you're like, it's not so bad. You should try it. Go on, you should try it. You know, the whole time you're like keeping down this desire to like guzzle down water. So is the sound better this time? Is it not getting all choppy and jumping out? So I've got a microphone, a real honest microphone. I've got the high def camera and a real wired connection. So the sound goes into this microphone, into the computer, down the wire, all the way back to the office and into the internet. Does it sound better? Lovely. There was some buzzing. It seems to be calming down. That's probably just my heart. I get nervous when I have to talk in front of people. It's a lot easier with an editor because I can, as I said the last time, I don't have an internal filter, so I can just edit out all the stupid things. And it's a little warm in the shop, so if I keep doing this, it's not because I'm checking out my eyebrows. It's because I'm wiping the sweat off my brow. Honest man's sweat off the sweat of my brow, making honest videos. Okay, now I'm doing it. All right, so what else do you want to talk about? Oh, I should also mention that I got some things in the mail. I did get the camera from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. I also got this, which is really neat. It's a hand pad for the circular, for the sanding pads. Well, that made a lot of sense. You know the orbital sanders, how they have the 5-inch pads? This is the manual version of that. But the person didn't leave any information about who they were, so I don't know who to thank. So whoever you are, thank you. I really appreciate that. I just don't know who you are. I'd love to send you back a sticker, or at least give you a thank you. So if you sent that to me, let me know. I do appreciate it. I think it's really neat. And I'm definitely going to find a use for it. And I do have a P.O. box if anybody wants to send me stickers. You can see there's not much room left on the wall here. These are all the people I met down at Maker Faire. And I've got just a little bit of space left. I haven't been to my P.O. box since I left for Maker Faire, so there might already be a whole bunch in there. But once this is filled, that's it. I'm not putting any more up on my wall. So it's getting pretty full already. But I still appreciate the stickers, and if you send me one, I'll send you one of mine back. And then the only other thing that I thought was kind of neat was this guy named Bulldog Welding sent me out this Boba Fett, and it's actually a bottle opener. So you pop the bottle here. This is not the bottle you use on, or you could twist it off here. That's kind of cool because it's Boba Fett, and bounty hunters like beer. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, Peter. Take off my hoodie. Are you kidding? I'm not going to take off my hoodie. I live in this thing. It's my identity. I'm not going to go hoodieless. Just as well go nude. Sheesh. I will suffer. I won't suffer in silence, Steve, but I will suffer. Do you watch tested videos? I do. I do watch some tested videos. Here's a confession. I don't like videos that are longer than 10 minutes because I have a very short attention span. So tested videos are usually watched like 2 minutes and then I zoom forward like 15 minutes and watch 2 more minutes, you know, or I'll put the whole thing in like super fast forward. So I don't have a very long attention span, which is why most of my videos are under 10 minutes. And I don't even watch my own videos if they're over 10 minutes. I watch them in super fast forward. That's all. You could cover your door in stickers. I could cover my door in stickers. I'm not going to. Do you watch Make Something? Yeah, David, totally. That's what his video is called now, is Make Something. Yeah, absolutely. I watch all of David Picciuto's videos. I like that channel. I like it a lot. I used to really like his weekly updates. What were they called? Oh gosh, I'm not gonna remember what they're called. Where he basically talked about everything that was going on in the woodworking community. Those are really fun. It was like a talk show for woodworkers. But he just said that they got too much. They were too hard to do. He had to put too much effort into them. So it's too bad. But he still makes awesome videos. So yes, definitely. Used to be the drunken woodworker, right here. Now he's Make Something. I've got an old time drunken woodworker sticker. How was your experience? Scott Hampshire asks, how was your experience taking a sponsor? Did you get a lot of negative backlash? I knew the sponsor question was going to come up. So thank you for asking it. You're not a plant. He's not a plant, but I kind of knew that was going to happen. So here's the thing. I was reluctant to take a sponsor for a really long time. I didn't want to do it. But I did. And I didn't get a ton of backlash. I did a little bit on this one video I made with the Ox box. They asked not to be mentioned in the video, so it was just product placement. And a lot of people thought I was trying to be sneaky. But I wasn't. That's what they wanted. They just wanted it to show up in the build. So, but I get it. It felt a little sneaky, so I apologize for that. I won't be doing any more like that. Here we go. I'm not a fan of Patreon for me. I don't want you to pay for my videos. I would rather companies who have the money pay for the videos. And that way they can still be free to you. And if you don't want to watch a certain section of the video, you could just fast forward it, you know? I don't know. I don't like the idea of crowdsourcing what I do. I feel like if people start paying for a video, then they start expecting it to be a certain way. And I'd rather companies that have budgets that don't really care pay for the videos. So that's kind of where I am. But I'm only going to promote things that I care about. I have no intention of doing a Harry's ad. I have no intention of doing a Casper ad, not because they're bad, but because they don't interest me. And I don't want to promote something that I don't think is a benefit to you. So I'm hoping that I'm only going to do things that are shop related. You know, Audible was an exception. I think it's a great service. You know, I would totally do Audible again. But you know, I love the mask. I use the mask all the time, and I really like a couple that are coming up. You know, and they're shop related. So if you ever feel like I crossed the line, call me on it. I want to know. I don't want to be promoting easy cheesy cheese if, you know, we all know it tastes horrible. I don't want to do that. So that's not what I want. I want it to be a benefit. So to you and to me. So that's the point. Yeah, but the company also expects it to be a certain way. They do. But what they care more about is that people watch it. And honestly, if people are already watching the video, then they're pretty cool with it. So far. But again, I don't want it, and I don't want it to be every single video. So I'm trying really hard not to do that. I've got, you know, just a small handful of them lined up. I don't want to just be every single video Peter sponsoring something new. So, but again, if it becomes that, please let me know, because that's not what I want. And I lost control of the comments here again, so I apologize. 8421 Huge is asking, how's the bacon doing? Yes, the bacon's doing well, actually. So let me see, I've got it here. I brought a few things out. Here's the bacon in high def. So, I mean, I don't think it's ever going to do anything other than just sit here. What can happen is that the resin will yellow over time. You have to buy resin that is specifically UV inhibited for it to not yellow. Otherwise, all resin will yellow at some point. Now, when you put something like bacon in resin, it's already yellow. So if the outside starts to turn a little bit, no, I don't think anybody will even notice. But like the credit card that I made, it's already starting to yellow a little bit. And here's one of the oldest ones I've got. This is probably one of my oldest resin projects. And I don't know if you can see it or not. It looks pretty clear, but there is some yellow tinge to it in person. I think the camera's just being gracious. And it will, over time it will turn more yellow. And that's just because it doesn't have a UV inhibitor. So they do make certain resins that don't have UV inhibitor, they make resins with UV inhibitors that are not supposed to yellow over time. I have never worked with any of those. So I think it's just kind of the way it is. I think it'll be there forever. When I was talking to Jimmy DeResta at WIA in September, he said that in his dad's old shop, or was it his uncle, someone he knew had a half of a pig. So it was like a butcher, I guess, and like a half a pig encased in resin, and it had been like 50 years like that. And he said the pig was fine, it didn't rot or anything, but the resin had all turned yellow. I don't know why you do that, but I think it was good information for me. The bacon looks kind of weird. It does look a little weird. It's a bacon in a block of resin. I don't know if I've ever seen another one before. Am I reading any interesting books? I picked up a book based on someone else's suggestion. So I finished reading The Martian and Ready Player One, and I just devoured them. And somebody suggested 1 Second After, which is apparently about an EMP pulse. And I'm a couple hundred pages in, and it's good. It's interesting. It doesn't grab me the same way. You know, I haven't like gotten excited about it. But those books are usually few and far between for me, those really excited books. So I'm always on the lookout for more. Jay Bates! Hey, Jay! We were just talking about you. Welcome. All good things. All good things. Jay sent me custom, this is from Jay Bates' shop right here. Can you read that? Hand-selected exotic 2x4 from the Lowe's forest. Still at the old logos. Don't have the new logo yet. I like the old logo. I've seen fish encased in resin. I think it was quite a famous artist. Oh, that's cool. I've seen, there's a very popular painter who paints in layers. He pours down a layer of resin, and then he paints a cross section, and he pours down another layer, and he paints another cross section. It's an entire goldfish painted in. Now, he's an artist, which is amazing, and his medium just happens to be resin. You know, I know how to pour resin, but I can't paint. It'd be like a stick figure. It'd be like, and this stick figure is 3-dimensional. Here's his torso. But what's your goal with this stream? I want to get comfortable doing this, and then I'm hoping that at some point I can actually make projects on here. Once I get comfortable doing this, once I know that the audio is not screwed up, I'm actually been looking at Twitch, which is what I've seen a lot of the other guys doing. And so I'd like to know that I have a good setup, and then I'd like to start making small projects in here while having this conversation. So that's my goal with this stream at some point in the future. If that's something that interests you, then know that I'm working towards that. I'm nowhere near it, but maybe by the end of summer, I'll have that set up if I can figure that out. Banana guard. Can we get more couch time? So the 4 of you who know what couch time is, my brother-in-law decided it would be hilarious if we got together and acted out little weird skits for 2 minutes at a time. And we had 3 of them, and we thought they were kind of silly and fun. and we couldn't come up with any more. And so Couch Time died. And in that place of that channel, I made a new channel called Mixed Nuts, and it so far has not, I haven't really figured out what it's going to be yet. So if you're interested in something a little off, then you can go over and check out the Mixed Nuts channel. You'll have to figure out how to get to it on your own, because I don't think I can recommend it yet. Coffee mug made of coffee beans. I see. You could make it, but then you couldn't use it. That's all. You couldn't actually use it because it's not food safe. And if you put hot coffee in a resin mug, it would like melt. So I could totally make a popcorn bowl. I just couldn't put anything food in it, or it would leach out and people would get sick. And people meaning me. Or somebody would try to do it and they would get sick, and then they'd sue me and I wouldn't have a channel anymore or a house. So no. That's right, Jay Bates, you were actually subscribed to Couch Time. You poor fellow. Greetings from Scotland. Always looking forward to your videos. Just wondered, have you always pottered about in a workshop? No, as a matter of fact, I had not. I was a serious geek. Like, my weekends was spent playing video games, and that was all I did with them, was just play video games. And it wasn't until 2007 when my wife looked at me and said, you need to build a bookcase for this area. And I said, what's a bookcase? And went out in the shop and like put this horrible looking bookcase together that I went, this is kind of fun. So no, I don't have any real background. I've only been doing this for about 10 years. Not a long time. 194 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that would be really hot, but it would still get a little soft after a while. A little soft. The Peter Brown Epoxy Challenge 2016. I'd be down for that. I think I missed some context. Bales. I don't know the context of that. We could do a challenge. We could dip stuff in resin. As long as I don't get sued, I'm down for it. More HDPE projects. Here's a confession. I really like my HDPE mallet, and I like, I made something else with HDPE that I really like. Was it the handle? I think it was the ice cream handle. I really don't like the process of trying to clamp HDPE. It's a real pain in the butt. I just don't like it. So those are far and few between, because it takes me that long to go, oh, I liked making stuff out of HDPE, you know, and oh, maybe I should start to do that again. And then I'll start to collect it, and I'll get a whole huge hoard of it, and then I'll make it and go through that clamping process and be like, oh, I forgot how much I hated this whole process. Because it looks really cool when it's done, and it's really fun to turn on the lathe, and I really like working with the product, but making the block of HDPE sucks. It really sucks. I don't like it. Yeah. Do you have a dream project? No, I'm a simple man. I like small projects. So I don't really have anything huge I want to make. I wouldn't mind making a table at some point, but I'm also fine with just buying one. I'd rather just, for me, it's more about enjoying myself in the wood shop, the workshop. I guess I don't work with wood that much anymore. It's more about just enjoying my time in the workshop than it is about what I'm making. I'd rather just be out here having fun. And if that means when I'm all done, all I've got is a bunch of rusty tools and a block of salt lamp, then, you know, it was a good day. So that's me. That's my thing. I don't need something to last for all eternity. I just want to have a good diversion for a while. Did you ever get welder's gloves? You about burned your hand last time. I did. Somebody sent me some. So I've got a fancy pair of welder's gloves. So when the need hits, I will be ready for that part. I think I've actually got some crayons on here. Oh yeah, look, see? Probably can't see. There's actually crayon on there. Because I use these to grab the hot crayon out of the oven. So yes, when my next HEV project comes, I will not burn myself so badly. Thank you very much to, oh gosh, was it Andrew? I don't remember the person's name. He was very nice. Thank you very much. All right. Dip your silver play button. I've actually gotten that suggestion a lot, but yeah, it'll turn yellow. Want me to dip my play button? And I should, because it doesn't really matter, but it won't last forever. It'll turn yellow like everything else. So maybe I should find some UV inhibited resin first, and then maybe we can do that. I don't know. I kind of like having it. Oh well. I'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe. Collect pocket lint for a month and dip that. Pocket lint is on the dip it list. It really is. I have had so many people suggest lint that it's actually on the list. I actually have a long list of items on the dip it list. All right, so. Oh, just stepped on something. I am not wearing any shoes, which is dumb. Don't walk around the shop without shoes on, but I do it all the time. Yeah, so I've got pocket lint on here. I also have dryer lint, Jello, Legos, peanut butter. I don't think so. There's a couple that I've already done. Somebody suggested the money clip. You know, some of the bacon. So there's a lot of these that have actually already been done. Cell phone has been suggested a lot. I actually went to this salvage store where they buy old tech, and I found a whole box of those old Nokia phones, the 89 whatever series Nokia phones. And I went through this whole box, and I found a cord trying to get them all to power on. And I figured if I could get a one of them powered on and actually dip it in resin, where you could still get to the plug-in so you could still power it on. I thought that'd be kind of cool. So, but they didn't have any that actually worked. So, but if I can find an old Nokia cell phone that still powers on, I think that'd be kind of a fun one to dip. Or maybe an old iPod. That'd be kind of cool, because you could still use it. You could still upload music to it. That actually might be kind of cool. You may have a pen. I'm going to write that down. Never mind. I got it. I got it. Sheesh. iPod. See? Coming up with stuff right now. Please do Legos. I get Legos a lot. Dip your bare feet. Bare feet is better than Crocs. Hey, Willem. Good to see you. What time is it there? It's got to be late, right? He's in the Netherlands. I get Legos a lot. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the Legos. So I'm not really sure what to do with them. I could dip them, but then you wouldn't be able to put them together. So I don't want to be like Lord Business and just, you know, make something really neat and then you can't take it apart anymore. So if I can come up with, if somebody has an idea for what they want to see with the Legos, I'll be happy to put them in resin. I'm just not sure what you want to see. Do a live goldfish. I don't want to kill anything. Sorry, you're talking to a West Coaster. I don't even like yeah, I don't like killing stuff. I don't want to kill fish in resin. What a horrible way to die. Thanks anyway. We're out here in hippie country. We don't kill stuff. Black cat. Hey Heidi, Art Resin is a UV inhibited resin. Have you actually tried it? Have you actually used it? I haven't used it yet. They sent me an email and they said they were going to send me some, but then they never did. So I might actually have to do something crazy and buy some just to see if it works. 10 p.m. in South Africa. Nice. Howdy. Dip Lord Business. Style your hair with epoxy. How do you know I'm not doing that? I get that all the time in every video. Did you dip your hair? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I got this hairstyle in 1995 and it hasn't changed. In fact, the lady at the hair place, whatever that place is called that cuts your hair, she always says that. Did you want to change the style? Yeah. No, let's just do it the same. Let's do it. It's fine. It's fine. I like it. Now what, Wes? Dip some dank weed. Now we're talking West Coast. There you go. He gets it. Joe gets it. Your hair isn't yellow, though. It must be UV inhibited. That's right. Okay, so yeah, so what else? How long have we been at this? I have no idea. Is there a meter on here that tells me how long I've been chatting for? I have no idea how long we've been doing this. 40 minutes. Holy cats. Okay. Okay, so what else? I don't know what else to talk about. I could show you stuff. I could show you around the shop. Oh, let me show you what happens when you turn, let me show you what happens when you take a block of salt and drill it at the drill press. This is the most expensive Forstner bit I've ever purchased. It is come on. I don't even know if that's going to work. It is 2 5/8 of an inch. It's what I use to drill out all of my bracelets. And it is rusted very, very badly. The thing about rust is it's fixable. And so, focus, you back? I'm back. The thing about rust is I think it's fixable. Now, there's going to be some pitting because I can already see like a ton of it. But if I was to say live in Michigan, where they put salt on the roads, then I probably would be fighting rust a lot more than I already am. Here in Northern California, we have fairly low humidity. I don't have a humid shop. If I left my shop doors open and went out for the day and came back, there would be zero rust on any tools anywhere in the shop. The only rust that I get is from bringing in salt and activating it by turning it on the lathe, or drilling it at the drill press, or cutting it on the bandsaw. My bandsaw blade is shot. It is completely rusted, and it will not be recoverable. That's fine. It's 30 bucks. I can buy a new bandsaw blade. I've oiled everything. I've cleaned everything else, but I forgot about the Forstner bit, and I had just left it on my lathe bench, and I found it covered in shavings the other day. I even went looking for a bunch of rust on tool surfaces because I was going to do a video of how to, clean up rust, because I thought it'd be kind of fun. And there just isn't much because I did a really good job cleaning everything up. So, but maybe I'll rust my table saw top, and we can do a video on how to remove rust because it's really not that hard. And again, the kind of rust that I get out here, it's not really bad. So I don't really fight with it. It's pretty light. It's pretty easy to fix. Something's happening in the comments. Have you ever shot a gun before? Let me see. Oh, let me go back. Have you ever shot a gun before? And you should also try dipping live ammo. Is that a good idea? Yeah, I've totally shot a gun before. My father was a deputy sheriff down in Los Angeles, LA County in the 60s and 70s. So I've definitely been around guns before. I've shot lots of different guns. But, I'm not saying I'm not armed. I'm just saying it's not my thing. So if somebody comes into my house, they'll find out how good of a shot I am. Other than that, I don't just go out and shoot guns. So, but yes, dipping live ammo might be fun. What's that channel? They make Tau Flatermouse or something, and he shoots all the different types of shotgun shells. Maybe I should make a resin one and send one out to him. See what that does to the inside of his pump action shotgun. That'd be kind of fun. He's got a pretty popular channel with a horrible name. I don't know why they picked that name. Okay. Codys Lab made a play button, and it was awesome. I saw that episode. I like Codys Lab. I started watching Codys Lab after Nighthawk and Light featured him on its millionth video. Millionth whatever. Yeah, Tauflader mouse. That's the one. Codys Lab's cool. Where in Northern California are you? I'm in Santa Rosa, California. That was Future Scroll Saw Artist right here. You're over in Sacramento, I think. Is anyone in Georgia? There are people in Georgia. In fact, Atlanta is huge. I think they've got like 5 area codes there. Would you ever be tempted to go into metal work like forging and such? There's a college. It's not really a college. It's a trade school around here in Oakland, California, called the Crucible, and they offer week and weekend classes, and it looks really, really fun. You can go down there and learn to do a skill, blacksmithing. You actually come out and you actually make a knife, you know, forging, welding, and it's a really cool place. It's one of those places that I would love to save up some money, find some time, and go down to the Crucible for a weekend. So yeah, I would totally do that. In this shop, I don't even have room for all the woodworking tools that I want. So I don't think I will become a, you know, do any metalworking. It's just, I've got so many other things that I'm interested in. I'm not saying I won't at some point. It's just right now, that doesn't interest me. What interests me is more casting, you know, doing more stuff around turning. That's what my interest is right now. Glass blowing. Yes, glass blowing. Absolutely, 100%. It's so cool. I have a guy I work with that's actually used to be a glass blower, and he has stories. You actually only did glass blowing in the morning from like 7 a.m. to 11 o'clock because it got so hot near the, it's actually called a glory hole, the gigantic hole of fire. It's actually called a glory hole. It was so hot that guys would pass out if they did it in the afternoon. And he said the other thing that's cool about glass blowing was, he said, whenever a vessel exploded, you will smell it before you feel it because it's so hot. You'll actually smell burning skin before you feel the pain of the glass shards burning your skin. So yeah, that would be fun. Make a play button out of wood and an copper inlay. Wow, that'd be cool. Copper, huh? Maybe, what about aluminum? Because aluminum actually melts at a reasonable temperature, and copper doesn't. Copper, you have to get it really hot to get it meltable. But aluminum, you could cast it in wood pretty easily. Too bad I gave up my CNC machine. I have to chisel that out by hand. That'd be kind of cool. All right. Is YouTube your full-time job? If not, what job do you have other than YouTube? YouTube is not my full-time job. I am a network analyst. I work on Cisco networks, and I work 10 hours Monday through Thursday. So YouTube is just a hobby for me. I finally saw it. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry I wasn't looking at the screen, Blackbird. It's hard to split my focus. I see it. Sheesh. Okay. Is there any other comments I missed? If I missed another comment, feel free to just, you know, pull a Blackbird and just keep posting them there. Dip a whole egg. Yeah, I could try that. Dip in epoxy. The dip from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Make a longboard skateboard out of epoxy. So I've had the longboard comment a handful of times, and I've always told people I'd be happy to make a skateboard, but if I actually got on it and tried to ride it, I'd die, and that would just be the end of the show. It'd be kind of sad. I am absolutely a geek. I have zero motor skills, and I never ever learned to do anything even remotely athletic or sportsy. Would dipping Cat 5 cable look cool? I don't know. Got almost 300,000 views on this one. So yeah, I think it'll look pretty cool. You could dip some Cat 5. We don't want you to die. Thank you, Tyson. I appreciate that. I don't want to die either. Would it be possible to dip a liquid? So that's an excellent question. I get that a lot, and I feel bad because resin reacts with moisture, which is why you can't cast a lot of things because they're wet, or any moisture, even just a little bit of moisture that just explodes with bubbles is what happens. It gets this big foamy mess. So you'd have to do it in 2 parts, but then you'd have to figure out how to like encase it. I'm not sure how to do it. I have a couple ideas, but I never follow them through because it's just a lot of experimenting. So I have a couple ideas that maybe we can do it. It will not be water. You can't dip an ice cube. I just don't see how that's possible. But maybe there's some liquids that won't react with the resin that maybe we could dip. So maybe. Hey, Andrew, I see you there. Thank you very much for the camera. It looks great. Everybody appreciates it. Could you dip a water balloon? If the outside was completely dry, you could dip a water balloon. Yeah. So then how do you make it pop? That would be the trick, is how do you get the balloon to pop afterwards? Temple Boy did a liquid turning project. Yes, okay, I just watched that. So Willem is saying that there's another YouTuber named Temple Boy. His name is Temple Boy Turning. He's this guy out in the UK. And what he did is he took 2 pieces of plastic, he hollowed out a piece of wood, took 2 pieces of plastic, and encased the liquid in there, and then built up a turning on the outside of that. And it looks cool, but I would love for it to actually just be in the resin, you know, just like right inside of it. Like you could just shake it and have it be in the middle. I just don't know how to do it. But I'm still working on it. So if I have an aneurysm, it's because my brain was working on it in the middle of the night and it just exploded. So just know I died for you. There's a lot of death in this stream. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic. Leave spin in the balloon. Oh, leave pin in the balloon and a neodymium magnet. It's not a bad idea. Bug. I don't mind killing bugs. Not that hippie. Have you ever seen a chemical reaction that can make, it's too much, I can't, a little edible water bubble? No. Yeah, anyway, it's definitely on the list. You know, I've got water, liquid on the list here, on the dip it list. I've also got a ton of other things, and that's kind of the point, is that this list is so long because, I mean, people give me suggestions all the time, and a lot of them really good, and I want to try them. Bales. Do the epoxy bracelets stay circular or go out of round over time? It does go out of round. It totally does. It gets soft. And so if you, for instance, this one, if I was to just warm it up in my hands, it is actually becoming pliable the more I do this. So resin, epoxy, not all resin, but epoxy resin, which is what I first started working with, gets really soft really easily. So I can actually warm this up and get it out of round super easy. Not so much with the other, with the polyester resin, which is just awful smelling stuff. It's just horrible, awful smelling stuff, but it is. You can polish it to a really high shine, and it's just, I don't know, it's just better and worse. It is the worst smelling thing I've ever had in the shop. That is the one thing that was wonderful about the peppercorns, is that I couldn't smell the polyester resin because I was dying from the peppercorns. And I almost thought, this is nice. Dip a gnome. Those damn gnomes, they deserve it. Do it. I'm going to dip one. Happy little gnomes. Does that make turning it hard? The heat problem. It does. It does make turning it hard because it gets soft. And I also tried to polish. I tried to buff epoxy before. I have a buffing wheel, and the epoxy gets really soft and just, it ruins it. What is your favorite material to work with? Wood, probably. Yeah, maple. I absolutely love working with wood. It's easily my favorite material to work with. But for whatever reason, you know, I just kind of got off on a tangent and started making weird stuff. And now I know in my mind, my channel is, you know, Guy makes simple projects out of the wrong material. That's kind of how I see what I do. But yeah, I love working with wood. It's easy. You don't it's not fussy. You don't have to, you know, protect yourself so much. It's beautiful. There comes in tons of different shades. I love working with wood. Walnut, I got walnut by the acre here. But yeah, but it's not, you know, it's not exciting. So I try to make things kind of fun, exciting by working with salt or peppercorns or epoxy, or I got some really weird stuff going on back here. You're gonna see that soon. Have you ever tried carving? I have tried carving. I'm not good at it. I tried to carve a tiki mask a couple of years ago, and I ended up just pitching in the fire. Have you ever used the Micromesh on lacquer? Tyson King. Yes, I have. I tried. So I used to be a drummer. In another life, I used to be a drummer. I actually owned a vintage 1960s Gretsch drum set. It was a 5-piece kit from the 60s made out of birch. And I decided to refinish it. And I sprayed the whole thing with lacquer, and I used the Micromesh, and I got the bass drum done, and it was beautiful. So Micromesh works great on lacquer. And then I realized I didn't want to play them because they were taking up space in my shop. So I ended up selling them to a guy who refinished them down in Oakland, and they're beautiful. It was a beautiful set. I'm glad I gave them up. Could you ever make something live? Yeah, I think we're going to try that. Because again, I just want to do a check. Audio's good, video's good. It's not jumping in and out like last time. Let me know if it's still good. And if it is, then I know that my setup's good and that we can maybe try something different, either in this format or maybe what I'll do is I'll redirect people from here over to Twitch, because I see a lot of people using Twitch. So I don't know what I'll use, but I'd like to make these live things more interactive, more than just question and answer. So yes, good. Thank you. All still good. You got maple coming in July. Ooh. Thanks. Sounds good. Can you make a vacuum former for a project? Maybe. You mean those, they like use the sheet and you put the object down below and you heat up the sheet of plastic and then you kind of like stick it over the top? I don't know what you'd use that for. Making cars? Maybe. Kind of cool. Hey, Peter, a few things first. Any tips for the lathe? Yes, if you're going to buy a lathe, then make sure you get a face shield as your very first purchase. So I have heard of way too many people hurting themselves horsing around with the lathe. So get a face shield and go sign up for the local wood turning club. I love my wood turning club. It is a local club that meets once a month. You can look at the AAW's website and find out where your local clubs are. The guys in my club are all fantastic. Every month I go there, there's an opportunity to get free wood. I've picked up sycamore, blocks of walnut. There's usually a live demonstration. You can see wood turning, learn techniques, talk to other people that do wood turning. It is fantastic. YouTube is a great way to watch people doing things. Your local wood turning club is a great way to interact with other people doing the same thing in your area. So that's my best tip. Face shield, wood turning club. You can thank me later. Dip a TV remote that's identical to the one you have to mess with people. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I love that. That's hilarious. That would make a funny video. TV remote. Are you famous at your lathe club? No, nobody has any idea who I am. No, nobody at my club watches videos. So they haven't got a clue who I am. Actually, David Marks goes to my wood turning club. So we've already got a famous person there. So that's kind of cool. If you don't know who David Marks is, he has a show. He had a show on DIY Network for 7 years. So yeah, we were all filled up on famous people. Are you a convert to the carbide turning tools? Wood. Words and wood. Art. I am. So I've never bought any carbide wood turning tools, but I actually got a set sent to me by Rockler. So they were kind enough to actually send me out a set. They sent me out a dust right, and they sent me out a set. And the only reason I did that is because I make videos and they want people to see me using their tools on videos. That's it. That's all there is. I wouldn't have bought them because I didn't want to spend the money on them, but it makes turning polyester resin really, really easy. So yeah, I'm a convert, and I never would have paid for them. And now that I know what they do, I totally should have bought a set years ago. So yeah, as I've said before, I am kind of a grumpy old man when it comes to adopting new ideas. So I usually am like, oh, it's fine, I don't need them. And then, oh, these are great. So yeah, I'm totally a convert. So we got another couple minutes, and then I'm going to call this one done. I don't want to go over an hour or too far over an hour. So if you have any questions that you feel like I've missed, feel free to throw them up now. I see you, Iron. I see it. It's a cool idea. They are a little spendy, Tyson, but yeah, they're pretty cool. And you can buy Captain Eddie. He makes them and sells them. He's a YouTuber. He makes and sells them. You know, they make and sell small ones for wood turning. And Rockler actually sent me out a small set, and maybe we can do a giveaway for those because I'll never use those. So if you guys are up for that, maybe I'll do a giveaway for the small set. Peter, why do you put googly eyes on your tools? Because googly eyes are hilarious. I love my bandsaw and my drill press are looking at me terrified every time I walk up to them. I don't know, I love that. What's he doing? Oh my gosh, is that salt? All right, catch you later, Art. Okay, I think that's it. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for having the chat. This will go onto the YouTube channel. I think it'll happen as soon as I'm done. I want to do one of these once a week, but I don't think that that'll actually happen. I'm just not that. I don't have that much time. Usually when I'm out here, I want to make videos. So if I'm all caught up on making videos, then I'll do these. The other thing I can do is actually start scheduling these in the middle of the week. Now that I know that this works, so maybe we can do it late at night, like 8 o'clock my time, Pacific time, if that works for other people. Maybe I can do that, and then we can do these more regularly. So let me know. Yeah. Have you ever considered metal machining? I turned aluminum in my most hated dip it ever, where I dipped the coffee tamper. I still use that coffee tamper every day. But I machined aluminum. I actually got a lot of really angry people telling me I'm not supposed to turn aluminum on the wood lathe. I don't know why. It worked well. So, but don't do it, apparently. Okay, yeah, maybe bi-monthly. Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. Twice a month, bi-weekly, right? Twice a month. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you soon. Bye.